there are a couple of very important games coming up tomorrow. And the reason they are is because even though the 4 teams are in the semi-finals, we have India playing Sri Lanka. A win for them and a loss for Australia would mean India would go to Old Trafford to play New Zealand, and Australia would play England at Edgbaston. However, if both teams were to win their matches tomorrow, which is India and Australia, then it would be as things stand. Australia at Old Trafford against New Zealand, India versus England at Edgbaston. Let's start with India versus Sri Lanka. Obviously, very clear-cut at Headingley. Pretty much go out and win the game, and it's great final tuning up before that semi-final.
It is, yeah. I think it should be a dress rehearsal. At least the batting order should be a dress rehearsal of what they would have for the semi-finals. As in, it's like the ideal opportunity to test out whoever you want to test out and finalize who you want to bat at which position. I also think they need an extra bowler. I think they need that 6th bowler option, and I think that they have to make a choice based on that 6th bowler option, be it a part-time bowler or a regular bowler. It could be Kuldeep or Ravi, or when I say Ravi, I mean Jadeja, or it could be the likes of Kedar, who can also coming back into this side. They have to have 6 bowlers, because in the way cricket's played today, you need to have that cushion. You need to give the bowlers, that cushion of over 6th bowler.
Yeah, I know the other day you were saying that you've got 5 good bowlers, and we know Hardik has put his hand up and said I can bowl 10, but you still need that cushion.
Yes, it's good to have that cushion. There is no doubt about it. Simply for the fact you've seen Bhuvneshwar walking back to the dressing room in one of the matches in the World Cup. You don't want that happening in a big semi-final.
Correct. Yeah.
So if someone has some niggle or something happens in the game, you should be prepared for that. Bhuvneshwar Kumar had bowled only 2 overs. So you imagine if you don't have that cushion, you have to find that option in maybe Virat Kohli is the option, or Rohit Sharma, who has bowled in a I don't know when was the last time he has actually bowled. So these are the 2 possible options you have in that scenario. So looking at that, maybe if it was a bilateral series, you can say okay, fine, we'll try this combination.
Yeah.
But I don't think in a match like semi-finals we should take that chance. It's a very outside chance, but you should not go in the match with that kind of attitude. Bumrah has already said that he wants to play the match and he will be part of the playing 11. Yeah. So that's another thing. The one more point which is very important from Indian team's point of view is that what are the plans with regard to 2 spinners? If they have the clarity on that, then that bowler should be playing in tomorrow's match. That is a must according to me. It's Australia, England and New Zealand. The possibility is that you would prefer the spin bowling option
against any of them.
Yeah, 2 spin bowling options against these teams. So if you have the clarity of that, then give the guy that those 10 overs in a match scenario under pressure. Sri Lankans are good players of spin.
But you wouldn't look at them as an opposition rather than saying we need to get our 11 sorted.
Exactly. If anything, to be fine-tuned, so that's the way you should look at this game. Yes, winning of course is important, because that's part of the plan. That has always been part of the process and the topmost priority. But also worth figuring things out in terms of, can we alter anything with regard to the semi-finals in terms of those middle order overs also, which we've been talking about, in terms of setting the platform, in terms of using someone as power hitter, so all those kind of things, if need be, they should be that's the time tomorrow they should throw it out there and see how it goes.
Good luxury to have this particular game going in where that, obviously you still want to win, but
I think India will be very happy that we have this game before the semi-finals, because it gives them an opportunity to really work on their strengths and figure out their options before they get into the semi-finals. So I think it's a superb game for them to have right before the semi-finals. So I think they'll really want to test out everything that they want to test out before, they'll probably try out everything that they want to try out before they go into the semi.
Yep. And of course it was Chaku, then called Kulcha, who came together against Sri Lanka in 2017 when India went on to win 5-0. So they'll have familiar foes in their mind. But for Sri Lanka, well, definitely just time to, again, like Pakistan, like Bangladesh, want to go out on a high. They were the team who lit up the tournament with that win against England. Little disappointing after that. So they'll want to come back in form. They already know Avishka Fernando, brilliant talent. They'll want him to shine against a team like India. But again, it's tough to call this because you're really looking at any 11 really on the park.
Well, they also were late in expressing or trying the young talent. You know, they went in a situation and decided, okay, fine, you know, let's bring in Avishka Fernando, and he responded. You know, that's been the story of this World Cup.
Yeah.
You know, a few youngsters.
You can make an 11 of late bloomers in this tournament. They'll be a cracking side.
Really?
Look, they were afraid of dropping Thisara Pereira as well.
Correct,
Eventually
yeah.
they did.
They did.
So that also shows that now they are thinking about what's coming post World Cup, what kind of planning should happen. The new leader is there. Karunaratne is fairly inexperienced. Malinga has supported him in the best way possible. Has been a true inspiration for the whole group. It was important as well because, you know, you want Sri Lankan cricket to flourish again. You know, they've just gone off track a bit, and there are certain structural changes for sure needs to be done in that setup. So they also realized that, I think, you know, halfway through the tournament, as they were in it, they've realized things, and that should go a long way in terms of development of that team. So tomorrow's game, from that point of view, they will be approaching and they will be trying out their young talent and encourage them to express themselves freely.
Yeah, fair enough. I get your point. Maybe not 11, but
Not
I'm sure you can maybe
4 or 5
find 4 or
of them,
5.
yeah.
6 sides. We'll play a sixes tournament
side
with them.
kind of a
Yeah, there
thing,
you go.
for
You've got Kemar Roach, Avishka Fernando, Shaheen Shah Afridi. It'll be a good side, whatever it is.
Yeah, for sure.
Haris Sohail,
Yes.
there's 4 already. Maybe we'll try and unearth a few. Maybe you can give us some suggestions as to anyone you feel is even a slight late bloomer. But late bloomer or early bloomer, you can only pick people in the 11 when you're making your My 11 Circle team. And of course, tomorrow you've got embarrassment of riches with 2 matches to choose from. India versus Sri Lanka is the day game, and Australia versus South Africa is the day-night fixture. And he's going to have his hands full, isn't he, Dada?